Hello and welcome to S24 Rundown. I am Gloria Atta and here's our news in brief. To start with, President Bola Tinubu has directed a high-level delegation to Ethiopia to facilitate the repatriation of nearly 300 Nigerians serving prison sentences in the country. The delegation, led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, and the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, is expected to sign an agreement with Ethiopian authorities to allow the inmates complete their sentences in Nigeria. The move follows growing concerns over the condition of Nigerians held at Kaliti prison in Addis Ababa, where reports of overcrowding, poor health care and deaths in custody have sparked calls for urgent government intervention. In a separate development, Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele has disclosed plans to sponsor a bill seeking a single 6-year term for presidents and governors after the 2027 general elections. Bamidele said the proposal would allow elected leaders to focus more on governance by eliminating the distractions and political pressures associated with seeking a second term. While acknowledging that the idea may generate mixed reactions, he maintained that constitutional reforms are necessary to strengthen Nigeria's democracy and improve the quality of leadership. If passed, the proposal would require amendments to the 1999 Constitution and approval by at least 2/3 of the state houses of assembly. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has warned Nigeria's service chiefs to honorably resign if the country's worsening security situation persists within a defined period. The lawmakers also urged President Bola Tinubu to adopt a more aggressive and comprehensive strategy to flush out bandits, terrorists and kidnappers from their hideouts. The resolution followed motions moved by Reps members Ibe Osonwa and Suleiman Gumi during Tuesday's plenary, highlighting rising attacks, particularly on schools, which have disrupted education and worsened the out-of-school children crisis. The House called for immediate action to dismantle criminal strongholds and secure vulnerable communities, schools, and places of worship. Lawmakers also summoned the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, alongside the Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs to brief the House on efforts being made to tackle insecurity and improve coordination among security agencies. Nigeria's public external debt is projected to rise to $72.6 billion by 2027, according to the International Monetary Fund. In its 2026 Article 4 consultation report, the IMF said the country's external debt could increase from $51.9 billion in 2025 to $66.5 billion in 2026, before reaching $72.6 billion in 2027. The fund warned that rising poverty, food insecurity, and spending pressures ahead of the 2027 elections could widen Nigeria's fiscal deficit and increase borrowing needs. While describing Nigeria's debt outlook as manageable, the IMF urged the government to strengthen fiscal transparency, improve revenue generation, and avoid off-budget spending to preserve debt sustainability. The report also projected Nigeria's economy to grow by 4.1% in 2026 and 4.3% in 2027. Charcoal prices are rising across Nigeria as more households abandon cooking gas due to soaring costs and supply shortages. Residents in states including Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, Ondo and the Federal Capital Territory say the increasing prices of both cooking gas and charcoal are putting severe pressure on family budgets. Market surveys show cooking gas now sells for between 1,700 naira and 2,000 naira per kilogram, while a sack of charcoal, previously sold for about 6,500 naira, now costs between 8,000 naira and 8,500 naira, with traders warning it could hit 10,000 naira in the coming months. Consumers say they switched to charcoal because gas had become unaffordable, but the alternative is also becoming expensive due to rising demand, supply challenges, and insecurity affecting charcoal production. Energy experts blame the trend on supply shortages, insecurity, and tensions in the Middle East, while industry stakeholders are urging the federal government to boost domestic gas supply and stabilize prices to ease the burden on Nigerians. Turning to the international scene, South African police are hunting for more than 10 suspects after a mass shooting near Johannesburg left 12 people dead and 9 others injured. The attack occurred late Tuesday at the Jumpers Informal Settlement in Cleveland, where gunmen reportedly arrived in a white Toyota Quantum and opened fire at multiple locations before fleeing. Police say 8 men and 3 women died at the scene, while another victim later died in hospital. Authorities have yet to establish a motive for the killings, although investigators suspect a possible link to nearby mining activities. The incident highlights South Africa's persistent violence crisis, with the country recording one of the highest murder rates in the world. Now moving on to business news with Shukra Oniye. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to your business update. I am Oniye Shukra and these are your latest business news. We begin in Nigeria, where fresh economic data is pointing to a notable shift in country's trade structure. According to newly released figures from the National Bureau of Statistics, food and beverage import fell sharply to 1.39 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2026. This represents a significant contraction compared to previous quarters and suggests a gradual but steady reduction in Nigeria's dependence on imported consumables. Economists say this trend has been driven by a combination of factors, including rising local agricultural output, increased investment in domestic food processing, and ongoing government-backed import substitution policies. While this may signal progress towards food self-sufficiency, analysts also caution that inflationary pressures and supply chain constraints could still affect affordability in short term, particularly for urban consumers. Still in Nigeria, institutions driving national communication strategy are gaining international attention. The Central Bank of Nigeria, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, and the Center for Crisis Communication have all been shortlisted as finalists for the 2026 International Public Awards Association Golden Awards. The announcement made public on 9th of June recognizes their strategic communication effort across financial policy engagement, digital transformation, messaging, and crisis response coordination. Industry observers say this recognition reflects a growing sophistication in Nigeria's public sector communication, particularly in how government agencies are engaging citizens, managing information flow, and responding to public trust challenge in an increasingly digital environment. Winners of the award are expected to be announced later this year. Turning now to the wider continent, Africa's clean mobility sector has reached a new milestone. Nairobi-based electric mobility company Spiro has secured a landmark $215 million equity funding round, marking the largest single investment ever recorded in Africa's two-wheel electric vehicle industry. The funding formally announced earlier this month is expected to significantly accelerate expansion of electric motorbikes, battery swapping stations, and clean transport infrastructure across multiple African cities. Market analysts say this investment reflects growing investor confidence in Africa's urban mobility transition, particularly as government push for lower emission transport solution and reduced fuel dependency. The deal also places Spiro at the forefront of what experts describe as rapidly emerging last-mile electrification economy across the continent. And finally, on the global stage, financial markets are reacting to renewed volatility in the technology sector. Shares of Japanese investment giant SoftBank Group fell by 10% during trading, tracking broader losses across Wall Street tech stocks. The sell-off comes amid investor concerns over shifting semiconductor valuation, tightening margins in AI infrastructure spending, and recalibration in global tech supply chains. Market strategists say the movement reflects a broader risk reset in technology-heavy portfolios as investors reassess long-term growth expectation versus near-term profitability pressures. Asian markets are expected to remain sensitive to U.S. tech performance trends over the coming trading sessions. And that brings you up to speed on today's key business developments across Nigeria, Africa, and global markets. We'll be joining Gloria Atta and Abubakar Treki for newspaper review, where they take you through the headlines making wave. Stay with us.
Thank you, Shukra, and welcome back from that break. We'll be moving straight to the newspaper review with Abubakar Turaki. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah, so let's just go quickly to the business of the day, and we are going to start with our first newspaper, which is the Daily Trust. And on the front page, it says 6-year single-term push raises elongation fears. So what do you have to say? How realistic is the likelihood of this bill passing through the National Assembly?
Yeah, as long as the executive have interest in that bill, it's surely going to see the light of the day. And it has become clearly evidence to Nigerians and to humanity. History always repeat itself. Because before I came in, I stumbled across one video of a former presidential spokesman, Dr. Abati, when he was the spokesman of President Goodluck Jonathan, former president, from 2011 to 2015. Before they left office, they actually came up with this beautiful law. They wanted to enact it in the Constitution. But the same senator that yesterday came up with this idea vehemently rejected that.
At that time?
At that very moment, Senator Bamidele,
yes.
And subsequently, recently, yesterday, we saw when he had an interview with newsmen, he was actually telling them that if God so kind, they come back to the 11th Senate, he's going to come up with this policy and he's going to come up with this law so that at least Nigeria, our executive, the governor and the president may at least serve for a single 6-year and go.
But some people are actually seeing this as a political strategy rather than a true statement. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, he's a Nigerian and actually he's entitled to his own opinion. And the truth of the matter is those people that are even saying that they are going to come up with this law, they don't even have the guarantee if they are coming back to the 11th Assembly.
Yes,
and this is to show you how our politicians are. They are so ambitious in nature. And if you remember in first my statement, what I say this law may likely see the light of the day if the executive have interest on that, because we saw what happened when the current chief of staff to the president was the speaker of the ninth assembly, which he was able to at least make way, and they introduced the student loan and the rest. This is the reason why we are seeing nail fund and rest. But the truth of the matter is, to many Nigerians, they are of the view that is that not a way of manipulating the election?
Yes, and that actually brings me to another question, which I was going to say that, do you think this proposal is going to strengthen the country's democracy or invariably weaken it?
Yeah, it is two sides of the coin. If you look at it from the positive angle, it's a good one. At least if the executive know that they are only going to serve for the period of 6 years, they will not be distracted seeking for re-election. Maybe after 4 years, they will not be distracted. They will do everything possible to see that they have actually delivered their own promises, their mandates. They alleviate the suffering of their people. But if to say that by virtue of transparency he win the election, or by virtue of rigging he win the election and come back and came as the executive governor of president, and subsequently he is not doing what it is expected, are you telling me now you have to wait for the period of 6 years before you change him? And subsequently, how sure are we, the way Nigerians politicians are dubious and sometimes clever, if someone serves for at least good 6 years, so definitely before he leave, he have to make sure that he bring his own loyalists.
Yes.
So that they can continue ruling. We are going to see a situation whereby a governor will leave, we are going to see a situation whereby a governor may likely continue serving for the period of 12 years instead of 4 years that we're expecting. Because giving you an example, we saw what actually happened when governors left. They bring their own
their sons, their
loyalists. We saw what happened in Rivers between Fubara and Governor Wike.
Yes.
We saw what happened in Gombe.
Yes.
When Anjuma Goje left, he brought Ibrahim Hassan Nkombo.
Even in Kano.
Even in Kano, we saw what happened when Konkoso left.
Yes.
Ganduje was able to come up. And these are the kind of example, numerous example, but at least if people can be more politically socialized and understand the fact that no matter how those politicians are trying to play with us, as long as we have something to do, we can resist from any form of election manipulation, any kind of talkism, in the sense that they will give you something in order to vote for them. Well, collect the money. You are entitled to your own opinion. It's your right to collect the money. But if it is the election period, make sure you go for the credible candidate. And I also, at this juncture, I want to call on Nigerians that Nigerians, they should remember this is the high time for us to stop going for a political party. Rather, we should look for a person that is credible enough. Does not matter from any political party he came from.
Yes.
Because you may likely see someone that is actually eligible for the job, but he may likely not have the ability to run under the platform of those major political parties.
Yes,
we know what happened during the times of Malang Aminu Kano and during the times of Sardauna, during the times of Azikwe. Most of their own political party are not that prominent as our contemporary political parties.
Yes. So at the end of the day, I think I agree with you that it's better to go for an individual rather than a party. So let's just move straight to our second newspaper, and we're going to be turning to the Daily Monitor, and the front page says Democracy Day, FG working to resolve Nigeria's challenges.
You know, sometimes there is what we call blanket statement, and it has become clearly evidence to Nigerians. Whenever it is a festive period that Nigerians are trying to commemorate with a day, most of the times those public officers used to give a blanket statement. You know, in the next 2 days we are going to celebrate our new imposed Democracy Day. Because I have a different opinion on why are we celebrating June 12th as Democracy Day. I know some of our viewers may likely disagree with me, but I am a Nigerian. I also have my own personal opinion. I'm entitled to my own opinion. Why did we change from 29 May to June 12th? What is the rationale behind that? I always pray for the late President Muhammadu Buhari. May his soul continue to rest in peace. But the truth of the matter is, I think Buhari did more harm than good. Because
but I don't want us to actually deviate from the topic. Let's save this discussion for the D-Day. Let's save it for June 12th. So let's just move. Let's focus on the issue, which is, do you think that Nigerians are actually enjoying the dividends of democracy?
Well, the truth of the matter is, if you ask a common Nigerian will tell you that no, they are not really enjoying the dividend of democracy. But the truth of the matter is, no matter what, a democratically elected government is far better than any other government. If you are trying to tell me that, are you agitating for the military intervention in the presence of military regime, we may not be able to have the freedom to be having this conversation, and there are certain things that you will not be able to hear it as your own opinion or as a Nigerian. So the truth of the matter is, democracy is the best system of government in some other clime. But as Nigeria is among the emerging democratic states, we are finding it very, very difficult. Based on the interaction we used to have with Nigerians, based on what we saw on social media, the democracy is yet to be fully enjoyed. Because, and coming back to say that the federal government are working to solve Nigerian problems, well, I doubt. Because from what we are seeing, most of the problems are becoming insurmountable. Because it's only in this country that you will see a frequent attack. Yesterday we analyzed bandit attack, this morning bandit, and tomorrow, if care is not taken, we are going to come and analyze another kidnapping. Is that the major reason that the federal government are trying to solve their own problem?
But at the same time, we shouldn't downplay that efforts are being made.
They are putting their effort, but at least they are the one that actually came out and campaigned rigorously. They needed our vote. We voted for them. Then I think they have to be listening to the yearning and our own aspiration. Because if you don't ask us to vote for you, we should not be trying to unhold hold you responsible.
Yeah.
We are always trying to make this analysis to simplify it. Let them know that we are not trying to reject them, or we are not trying to blackmail their effort, but rather this is a democratic country. Even in America, there is the kind of like a wake-up call that they normally used to tell to their leaders, and we are calling our leaders, they should double their effort. I don't actually know, because most of them, allegedly, they have two indigenship or citizenship. If something happened to this country, I believe almost 90% of the citizens will rather die here, because some of us don't even have the chance to run away from the country.
Even to move to another region. Most of us haven't done that.
That is that.
So, you know, and earlier on you talked about how usually every year it's a repeat of speeches, and we know that another one is going to happen
on Friday subsequently. Yeah.
So how can we ensure government accountability beyond the regular Democracy Day speeches and the regular promises? How can we ensure that there is true accountability on all the promises that this government and subsequent governments that will also come would make to the people?
For us to ensure accountability, transparency, due diligence, we need to wake up from our slumber, because virtually most Nigerians are currently in slumber. Most Nigerians are sleeping. And we can only fight that if we at least fight the monster of illiteracy. And we should hold our government accountable, follow due process, have the necessary knowledge, have the necessary requirement to hold your leaders accountable. I want to make it clear to most of our audience, I believe they know. Do you know that the way you actually elect your representative, you can be able to at least recall them back? But most people, due to the level of illiteracy, especially the level of political socialization, is very low. But as long as Nigerians continue to at least have more political socialization, more political culture, more political orientation, I believe there will be a moment when we don't need to at least remind our leaders of their own responsibility, because they will just be afraid. Maybe if I mistakenly break this policy, definitely those that elected me, they will hold me responsible. And that is going to be possible only when our judiciary are going to do the needful. The law should continue to do the needful, no any bias when it comes to the execution of law, whether you're among the rich or the poor, whether you're among the have and the have not. The law should just be blind, and the law should at least work on everybody, irrespective of discrimination.
Thank you so much, Abubakar. Thank you so much. Indeed, just like you've said, nobody should be above the law. And we hope that this would be a wake-up call to the present government and to every other politician that might be listening to us or watching us out there. Thank you so much for joining us today, and that's all we can take on our newspaper review today. Up next is S24 Report, coming to you after the break. Stay with us.
Residents and commuters along the newly commissioned Muhammadu Isufu Expressway, popularly known as Apo Road, are expressing appreciation to the federal government and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, for delivering what they describe as a major infrastructure upgrade. Many say the road has brought relief to motorists and improved movement within the nation's capital, reducing travel time and easing the daily challenges associated with traffic congestion.
I'm telling you, everybody here is happy because this road has been our issue in Apo. It's the major road that's leading to Karishi. So, anytime we have an issue along Kubo, you don't need to worry yourself. This is another shortcut for you. From here, you are in Kurudu, or you are in Karishi, or you are in Orozo. And from this same road, it can take you to Kefi. So it's another way of easing out of along Kubo axis. For those that don't know or are not aware, this is another road that can take you to Kefi. So thank God for this road.
Today he's here with us. In the past we thought it was just a nickname. But today we can see that the Mr. Project Honorable Minister Yeson Wike is a talk and do minister. All the promises he made, since the time passed, time immemorial, many ministers have come and gone in Abuja, promising we, the people of Abo Mechanic Village, a place of permanent shop. But they will end up promising and doing nothing, and their tenure will end.
Previously, you cannot pass this place. But right now, if you're passing, it's very easy.
We truly recommend the work of the minister. The order before was something else, but now everywhere is good. Alhamdulillah.
I am grateful and people are also grateful because I take passengers from Kabusa at least 45 to 50 minutes and we haven't arrived at our destination. From the day the work was 70% done, people are happy.
Which stretches from the Apple axis and connects key districts within the FCT, is expected to serve thousands of commuters daily, providing a safer and more efficient transportation corridor. From a road once characterized by traffic bottlenecks and limited capacity, commuters now have access to an expanded and improved expressway designed to accommodate growing traffic demand and support the development of the Federal Capital Territory. I am Khadija Mohammed, S24 Television.
This is Political Arena on S24 Television. I am your host, Abubakar Fraki. This afternoon, we will be discussing the role of women in student leadership in ensuring we have a free, fair, credible, and acceptable society that is free from any chaos during and after election. This afternoon, I am joined by my guest, the president of National Association of Female of Nigerian Students, Comrade Progress. Comrade, welcome to Political Arena on S24 Television.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Comrade, it's a pleasure to see you in the political system. And how do you find yourself in the political arena as a woman?
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you very much for that particular question, because it's not easy as a lady for you to find yourself in the political sphere. Mm-hmm. But for mine, I am really grateful because we did a lot. I started student unionism far back from my 100 level days. Mm-hmm. And I was grateful to men who gave me the opportunity mm-hmm. for being able to start up. I started with my first position as an appointee, as an SSA on gender, mm-hmm. to the then JCC chairman. But it will amaze you to know that 2 years after that JCC chairman, I was the first female JCC chairman in northern Nigeria and the third in Nigeria over the 45 years existence of NANS to be there. So after that office, I forged ahead to contest for the national president.
So you mean it was intentional?
Yes, it was. It was intentional. And dedication and hard work also matters a lot.
So what does breaking barrier mean in student leadership, especially in our university system?
Okay, in our university system, breaking barriers in student leadership, especially for females, is really a big thing, because politically, be it in student unionism, be it in Nigeria, they always call politics a male-dominated area. But right now, we're already having women breaking barriers, like few of them in the Senate, in the Reps, in the House of Assemblies. In fact, yes, we even have the reserved seat for women bill right now, been going back and forth with it. And so also in student unionism, we have just, let's say, 10% of women in student unionism, where that's where we fall into. I can give an instance. Just over the weekend, we concluded the NANS National Convention, and out of a crowd of almost 600 people, the women there who were student leaders were no more than 70. That's if they were up to. So one step at a time, we keep breaking barriers, we keep moving forward. Initially, at backward times, we didn't have that number. It was just a few. I use my state, Kaduna, as an example. Last convention, the one before this, it was just me. I was like the only female there. But I'm impressed you that this year we have over 10 from Kaduna. It means women are beginning to come out, stand up for themselves, and say, oh, they call it a male-dominated area. Okay, then let's break the barrier by joining up, by also being part of the system.
Okay, so in terms of challenges, you know, politics, as you say, is a male-dominated arena. So what challenges do you think women face? Which I believe some people are thinking that it's just because of the challenges. That is one of the major reasons why women are pulling out of the political participation.
Yes, challenges are the main reason why a lot of women pull out. That's why I told you earlier, I said dedication and hard work. You have to set it to your mind that no matter what happens, if I am out for this cause, then I should challenge this cause. Because, yes, they always make it look like, oh, as a woman, you're not supposed to be in this space. As a woman, in fact, there are a lot of it, from sexual harassment, allegations, and a lot of times they put it to you straight that, oh, yes, you are a lady, you're not supposed to be here. This is not for you. You're supposed to be at home. You're supposed to be the hairdresser. You're supposed to be this. But this thing you're standing for, it's not for women. So a lot of people feel, okay, I'm already challenged in this way. I am not supposed to be here and all of that. So why do I keep staying here? Yeah. Why do I keep being here?
Because you might mention, like, the society, and the political society was actually dominated by male. Don't you think that an opportunity was given to women, and we've seen how they were being accused of embezzling the resources?
Yes, that's true.
We saw what happened with the former Minister of Petroleum, and recently former Minister of Humanitarian. Don't you think these are one of the major reasons why opportunity was not given to women fully?
Okay, so those are reasons actually, like you state, but there's a difference if you're coming out to contest and if you're given a political appointment. When you're coming out to contest, you have the interest. You campaigned. For this position, I campaigned. I traveled over 36 states in Nigeria, and I visited over almost 300 institutions to campaign. So when you get the opportunity, you don't misuse it. Unlike someone who is being given an appointment, sometimes maybe not out of interest, sometimes out of compensation, sometimes maybe out of political godfatherism, sometimes it could be different reasons. But when you're out to campaign, I always take, for example, look at some of the reps members we have who are women, and look at some of the senators. I use Senator Natasha, who is my namesake, as an example as always. She faced a lot of challenges, but we are proud to say in the midst of that challenge, she was still able to bring something out. She was still able to prove a point that, oh yes, this is not making me back out from what I am out to do. That is somebody who came out with a cause to challenge. I don't know if you get the difference.
I understand the dynamics. So what role, like what support do women in politics need from their own society?
Okay, there is the irony that they say women don't support women. But I think right now there is a change in that, because mostly if you go to a society, over this recent primaries, majority of the women that came out to contest, either for rep, senate and all, you will see the crowd, they are majorly dominated by women. So I believe if the society can give them a chance, it's just like a mother in the home. Once she's been given a chance, that's once she's been getting married to and becomes a mother, she instantly takes up that role. Once she gives birth, nobody needs to tell her, oh, you need to bathe your child or you need to feed your child. She knows she's supposed to do that. That's how a woman in politics, you know, yes, I am supposed to do this for my constituents and for my constituency. Other than people having to tell you, oh, you have to do this or you have to do that. So that's why I always say, you look at, there's a woman I really look up to, Honorable Kafilat Ogbara. She's a rep in Lagos State. She doesn't sit to wait for challenges to come. She goes out to look for those challenges, and she solves them.
Sorry, before we round it up, what you made mention of some prominent women politicians in Nigeria. Yes. You made mention of Natasha. You made mention of Kafilat, and we've seen even in United States, Ilham Umar. She's one of those. Amina Mohammed, and many more. So, what lesson do you think women that want to participate in politics should learn from those people, especially ahead of this 2027?
Okay. Janet, first off, before I point about the 2027 election, there's something I do tell young ladies. Choose your role model and choose them wisely. Don't choose them by how they look, how they dress, or just how they speak. Choose them by the deeds they have done and by the vision you see they embody. When you do that, you can be able to say, oh, I want to learn from this person and I want to be like this person. I don't know if you get. Yeah. So now, forwarding to the 2027 election, for women, we as young ladies and as women, let's give them the support they need. Let's give them the opportunity and let's help change that narrative that said women doesn't support women. No, women support women. If women are more populated than men, and women discuss more feminine issues when they are being given the opportunities than men, because men sometimes try to shy away that, oh, this is not my responsibility, oh no, you don't expect me speaking about some of this topic. But once, I think from the help of the women, the number of women we have currently at the House, that's why we are being able to push for the reserved seats. We are being able to push for, what's this bill that was just passed on molestation. Recently, it was just passed on rape and all of that. So it aids women to speak more. It helps their voice go louder once they know that they have a support behind.
You have 13 seconds. Your call to Nigeria in a nutshell. Your call to Nigerians.
Okay. So in 13 seconds, my call to Nigeria is this. First of all, I always like to preach peace and harmony. If we are in peace as a country, things will go well. Mostly the insecurity issues and all of that. Insecurity is everybody's business. Security is everybody's business. So please and please, let's always be vigilant.
Thank you so much, very much. It's a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you very much, sir.
And that is all what we have on S24 Political Arena.
The first thing I'd like to ask you, what's the first thing the mainstream media and they start talking about the Sahel? Are they always coming at it from the wrong angle from your perspective, rather than a deeper understanding of the region?
Yes. Negative always. We begin with even history itself. The Western world never believed in other countries to stand on their own independently. And they created scenarios of poverty, not allowing them to explore and exploit their own resources to be on their own. Rather, they gave visas to the brains from Africa to move over Europe and America and gave them citizenship. Therefore, insecurity has to do with denial of jobs, not being able to earn something for the family.
So you're talking about by denying development to take place in each of these locations in a way that it naturally would, or maybe historically has, in pre-colonial times. It's about getting people to actually migrate for work, so therefore you're taking those people away and you're denying the infrastructure development.
Exactly. When they go there to Europe and America, they call them migrants. But when they Americans and Europeans come, they call themselves visitors, technicians and so on.
Expats.
Exactly. So the way they condescend, they look down on anything Africa negatively, is the core, because denial of jobs, denial of development instigate the youngsters into thinking of something abnormal. Sometimes they form groups and then they start taking little drugs. They graduate into violent thinking to have liberation by hard way. So after the drugs, somebody from, in the name of NGO from the West, will give them dollars, give them weapons, and then give them and drugs. Drugs that takes away the humanity in them, like the LSD. At that time, in Boko Haram and so on, the youngsters were even itching to kill their own parents after taking that drugs. So they were just mechanical, and they are maniacs. They never had the normal senses by killing everybody when they go into it. And
So
it was not the original Boko Haram, let me say it.
I've interviewed a retired Major General from the Nigerian Army, and he was telling me about things like, you know, Libya, the arms coming down from Libya through the Sahel, coming to a porous border, and then coming into banditry, leading to criminality, then leading to, you know, maybe Islamic State, that kind of stuff, with all the weapons as well coming from Syria. Are you saying that all of these conflicts are all feeding the flow of arms or militancy thinking, or is it really Islamic State as in a radicalization to make a caliphate, or is it a way of just using disaffected youth in order to constantly sow disharmony?
It is called a war economy. Libya, Syria, all the countries that you are now said are completely devastated. They did not create, they didn't have the industrial complexes like in America that we have in Europe, where weapons are constructed and made in order to sell. It is about the financing. It is about the economy. So if it were, the weapons were coming from Libya, who took the weapons to Libya? Who took the bombs and so on? Because Libyans were not making them. Syrians were not making them. Malians do not. So it was coming from somewhere. So the chaps in the name of United Nations Security Maintenance of Peace, they choose where they construct their bases, military bases. And sometimes they even dig tunnels, underground tunnels, with which rare earth minerals and so on were transported underground up to a particular place, for instance, up to the seas, like Algiers and Tunis, where fast boats were waiting to transport them to Europe, and from Europe some will go to America. It is about taking the resources, not allow the people themselves to even get 10%. According to France, the French establishment is the most criminal one in terms of not allowing even 10% of the people to enjoy their own resources, or perhaps allow those countries to build infrastructure companies in order to add value locally, just for the cocoa and chocolate. They export the cocoa and buy chocolate from Europe. The same thing with Nigeria. Nigeria sells crude oil, and then the refineries are all abroad. It is not only about just fuel for vehicles or for planes. There are other petroleum products that were all sold at different times. And any time a particular regime, a country, a president, and so on, the ruling class decided to fix their own refineries at home, there were foot soldiers who were handsomely paid in order to sabotage it. Nigeria is a typical example. We had a general, the way you talked about a particular general. Perhaps not all of them are grounded in terms of history of those things. It was General Obasanjo, as a civilian president, who sank $16 billion into fixing electricity. Today, still that problem has not been solved. So it means refineries, electricity, and so on, when they are fixed as basic infrastructure units, most of the problems are employment are solved. Because the welding, youngsters will be welding, doing one thing or the other in order to self-employ themselves.
So that infrastructure development would allow you to solve the youth issue around employment and moving forward and moving Nigeria forward as a country. But it's constantly interfered with and undercut with. Yeah.
Exactly. When poverty is created and then they dash them a few peanuts and then they drive their attention, even in politics, they say not too young to run. But even among the others, only those who are likely to compromise their position as country and allowed to be dictated from outside, particularly from America, France, Britain, and so on, dictating condescendingly, dictating to them in a racist way, to look down on them by telling them you either allow this thing or something will happen. Let us show you the picture of your bathroom where you are taking bath. We could share it. Or if you mess up with us, we will get you, and then the cowards will eventually just surrender. They don't do this thing. The way we had Ajakuta steel companies, which was 98% completed, waiting for the launching. Ajakuta in Kogi State. America, France, England, at least the three ones, said pull Ajakuta down to zero after allowing them to, simply because Russia, it was a Russian company that constructed it, allowing them to pull. So if they had allowed Ajakuta to be on ground, many African countries will have got most of their problems solved the way Dangote came with the refineries. With the refineries now, African countries are getting the fuel from Dangote, from Nigeria.
Welcome to Security Update. Concerns over security continue to mount across Nigeria as fresh incidents of adoption, amongst other stories, highlight the nation's ongoing battle against crime and insecurity. Today, we begin in Niger State, where armed bandits have reportedly abducted 4 people, including a pregnant woman, during an attack on a community in Niger State. According to local sources, the gunmen invaded the area in the early hours, shooting sporadically and causing residents to flee for safety. The attackers subsequently seized the victims and escaped into the surrounding forest before security operatives could intervene. Residents expressed concern over the growing insecurity in the area and called on authorities to intensify efforts to rescue the abducted person and prevent further attacks. In another story, the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has approved the deployment of Deputy Inspector General of Police to their respective geopolitical zones as part of efforts to strengthen security operations and improve coordination across the country. The deployment, which takes effect on June 15, is aimed at bringing police leadership closer to the field, enhancing accountability and ensuring quicker responses to security threats. Disu also directed commissioners of police in neighboring states to establish coordinated handshake patrols and improve intelligence sharing to prevent criminals from exploiting state boundaries. Finally, the House of Representatives has summoned the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, alongside the Minister of Defense and Finance to explain the utilization of funds allocated to the defense sector amidst worsening insecurity across the country. Lawmakers expressed concern over the rising wave of kidnappings, banditry, and killings, questioning why increased spending on security has not translated into noticeable improvement in the safety of citizens. The resolution followed a motion highlighting recent attacks in Zamfara and other northwest states, where dozens of people were reportedly killed or abducted by armed groups. And that's your security update for today. Please stay alert and report any suspicious activity to the authorities. Your safety should always come first. Bye for now.
From award-winning banking innovation to global cybersecurity efforts and growing concerns over AI-powered misinformation, technology, they say, continues to shape the world in different ways. Welcome to Tech Update. I am Gladys Asuko. And our first story today takes us into the world of digital banking, where innovation is earning global recognition. United Bank for Africa, UBA, has been named winner of the African category at the 2026 Banker Technology Awards. The award recognizes the bank's advancement in banking, artificial intelligence, and customer-focused financial solutions. The achievement focused strengthens UBA's position as one of Africa's leading technology-driven financial institutions. Moving on, the National Data Protection Commission, NDPC, has warned that AI-powered disinformation could pose a threat to upcoming elections. According to the Commission, the misuse of artificial intelligence could fuel fake news and manipulate public opinion. Experts are therefore calling for stronger infrastructure and cybersecurity measures to protect democratic processes and as well strengthen public trust. Now to the global stage, the United Nations is currently closing application for a global mechanism focused on the use of information and communication technologies, ICTs. In the context of international security, the initiative seeks to encourage responsible use of technologies, strengthen cooperation among nations, and address emerging cybersecurity challenges in an increasingly connected world. And that's all for today's Tech Update. As technology continues to evolve, its impact is being felt across finance, security, and as well as governance. Staying informed is no longer an option, it is a necessity. I am Gladys Asuko, and I'll see you in our next segment. Bye for now.
Welcome to your entertainment update for today. Starting from Nigeria, Afrobeat continues to stand as one of the country's biggest cultural exports, shaping how the world experiences African music. Artists like Tiwa Savage remain key figures in this movement, consistently trending through international performances, collaborations, and appearances on global stages. Her influence reflects how Afrobeat has grown beyond a genre into a global music force, connecting audiences from Lagos to London and across continents. This rise of Afrobeat is also part of the larger shift in global entertainment industry, where African sounds are no longer seen as a niche, but central to mainstream pop culture. Streaming platforms, digital media, and live performances have played a role in pushing Nigerian music into a worldwide conversation, making it a constant presence in today's global soundscape. In global and film television, attention is currently on major Hollywood releases and streaming content. One of the trending moments is Taylor Swift's surprise appearance at the Toy Story 5 premiere, where she unveiled a new original soundtrack song. The moment quickly went viral, showing how music and film continue to overlap in today's entertainment world, where artists are no longer limited to just one industry. At the same time, culture and identity remain deeply rooted in local communities. In Nigeria, the Kanuri people of the Northeast stand as one of the country's oldest ethnic groups, with a history that is tied to the ancient Kanem-Borno Empire. Their culture is expressed through language, traditional attire, music, and long-standing costumes passed down through generations. Despite modernization, the Kanuri continue to preserve their identity, keeping their heritage alive in everyday life. From Afrobeat dominating global music, to Hollywood evolving entertainment landscape, to the cultural strength of the Kanuri people, today's world shows a clear connection between global influence and local identity. Entertainment is no longer separate from culture. It is culture, moving across borders and shaping how the world sees itself. That's a wrap on today's entertainment update. I am Karimat Hassan. Up next is sports. Do stay tuned.
Lionel Messi is back and scoring. The Super Eagles are gearing up for a massive test against Portugal, and Real Madrid have just seen a blockbuster transfer bid turned down. Welcome to your sports updates. We start in the United States, where football fans received the news they were hoping for. Argentina captain Lionel Messi puts injury concerns to rest by scoring on his return as the world champions defeated Iceland 3-0 in their final World Cup warm-up match. The 8-time Ballon d'Or winner started on the bench after recently battling muscle fatigue, but needed only a brief appearance to remind everyone why he's still one of football's greatest stars. Messi's goal capped an impressive performance from Argentina as they continue preparations for their World Cup title defense. The Alba Celesti opened their campaign against Algeria on June 16 and will be hoping their captain is fully fit for what could be his 6th and final World Cup appearance. Meanwhile, the Super Eagles face one of their toughest challenges under coach Eric Chile when they take on Portugal today in La Heria. Portugal will parade stars such as Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, and Ruben Dias. But Nigeria captain Wilfred Ndidi insists the Eagles are not afraid. Ndidi says the team believes in its philosophy and remains focused on its own game, regardless of the opposition. While Nigeria missed out on the World Cup, this match offers another opportunity for Chile to continue rebuilding the squad and developing a winning. Staying with Nigeria football, the Super Falcons now know their next opponent in the race for the 2028 Olympic Games. Comoros booked a meeting with Nigeria after producing an astonishing 30-0 aggregate victory over Sudan in their first qualifying round. The African champions will be overwhelming favorites when the two sides meet in October as the Falcons continue their quest for Olympic qualifications. And finally, Real Madrid's search for a superstar signing has hit a major roadblock. The Spanish giants have confirmed that Atletico Madrid rejected their massive €150 million offer for Argentine striker Julian Alvarez. The World Cup winner remains under contract with Atletico until 2030, and the club had made it clear that they have no intention of selling one of their brightest stars. It's a huge setback for newly re-elected President Florentino Perez, who promised supporters a massive signing as he begins another term in charge of Los Blancos. Messi is firing again. The Super Eagles are ready for Portugal. The Super Falcons have their next challenge, and Real Madrid's transfer plan taking a hit. This is it for this sports update. I am A-Level Steven. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more sporting action from around the world. Coming up next is PG News.
I greet you now, my country people. Today, Nigeria and the world they bubble with plenty tori as President Bola Tinubu don fire delegation go Addis Ababa to rescue over 300 Nigerians from prison. While inside National Assembly, serious political and security fire alarm dey blow. We go come enter the new move wey don land say they wan change how long Presido go dey stay for office. I been a lawmakers where the fire service chiefs over insecurity, down to the heavy pocket squeeze where they force families to leave cooking gas, go buy charcoal wey don cost. We go come carry eye go South Africa where 12 people don't die. Today, matter plenty. Make we begin with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wey don direct delegation may they travel go Ethiopia to go rescue almost 300 Nigerians where they serve prison terms for the country. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, and the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Afabemi, now then they lead this delegation. They will sign one agreement with Ethiopian authorities, and the deal will allow the prisoners to complete their prison sentences for inside Nigeria. This move they come after Boku standard of living worries and security concerns don't burst up concerning how Nigerians they suffer for quality prison inside Addis Ababa. Reports conscious say overcrowding, bad healthcare and death inside cell don't make people they shout for government intervention. And for inside National Assembly, the leader of the Senate, Opeyemi Bamidele, don open mouth talk say in they plan to sponsor one new bill where go change the tenure of presidents and governors to just one single term of 6 years after the 2027 general election. Bamidele talk say this change will allow elected leaders focus well as he go comot all the distractions and political pressure where they always come when leaders they struggle to secure second term. To make this bill become law, the National Assembly will need to amend the 1999 Constitution, and at least 2/3 of the state houses of assembly across Nigeria must to sign am. And House of Representatives don't tell service chiefs say make they resign if they no fit solve security wahala. The House of Representatives don't give Nigeria service chiefs strong warning, say, may they honorably resign if they no feel improve security. The lawmakers have contacted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, making use strategy to scatter all the hideouts of bandits, terrorists, and kidnappers. This decision followed the motion where Reps member Ibe Osonwa and Suleiman Gumi carry come Tuesday plenary, where they highlight how security people they attack schools, they spoil education, and they increase the number of out-of-school children. And for money matter, we see say the International Monetary Fund (IMF) don't project say Nigeria public external debt go reach $72.6 billion by 2027. For inside their 2026 Article 4 consultation report, the IMF talks say the country external debt fee jump from $51.9 billion for 2025 go $66.5 billion for 2026. Before you go finally land for $72.6 billion inside 2027 where they call. The IMF won't say as poverty they rise, food scarcity they ground, and election spending pressure they come up before 2027. All this one go make country fiscal deficit wide, and government go need to borrow more money. However, the report still talks say the economy go grow by 4.1% for 2026 and 4.3% for 2027. Charcoal price safe don't they run follow gas. Gas scarcity they bite Nigeria people. Charcoal they follow. Charcoal price don't they go up across Nigeria as plenty households they run leave cooking gas because the price don't too high and scarcity they everywhere. People where they stay for Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, Ondo, and Abuja, they complain say the way the prices of both cooking gas and charcoal they take rise, they give family people headache. Cooking gas they sell between 1,700 naira and 2,000 naira per kg now. And one full bag of charcoal will be 6,500 naira before, don't jump to 8,000 naira. Some people they say 8,500 naira. Some traders even they want say if he later reach 10,000 naira very soon. Energy experts come they talk say the problem come from supply shortage and insecurity where they for where they produce charcoal. And to wrap up for international South African police don't start serious manhunt for more than 10 suspects after one mass shooting near Johannesburg killed 12 people, got injured 9. The attack happened for late Tuesday night for John Pass informal settlement for Cleveland. Eyewitness talk say the gunmen arrived inside one white Toyota Quantum van, come open fire for different places and they can't run away. Police can confirm say 8 men and 3 women die on the spot, while one other person died later for hospital. Investigators the suspect say this killing is their link with the illegal mining activities where they happen near the area. And now all this story we carry today be that. I go see you again another time. My name na Sidika Yusuf.
Thank you, Sidikat, for that version of our news. And this brings us to the end of S24 News Rundown. Do join us next time and remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. My name is Gloria Atta and bye for now.